Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here on Dark Avenger Inc. Today to review Mark Waid's The Green Hornet number 3. Okay, starting off from last. I'm gonna get into a lot of details of the plots. There will be spoilers for this issue. Fast forward through the just fast forward until you see the comic book cover again, and that'll let you know that I'm done talking about the plot and the spoilers are done. Okay. All right. So picking up from where the last issue left off with the Green Hornet and Kato being surrounded by the police just as they're exiting the butcher shop. They head back into the shop. Lieutenant Dugan and two cops follow them back into the shop. They go down to the basement. Hornet and Kato knock out the two cops. Then the Green Hornet makes a deal with Lieutenant Dugan. Well, not really a deal, but more of a bribe, really. He's able to bribe Basically, the Green Hornet bribes the last honest policeman in Chicago to let them go. In exchange, he'll give him money to help pay for his wife's hospital bills. And this is an action that right after Kato sees it, he's really starting to become concerned with how far the Hornet's been acting. I mean, he knows that Britt's really a good guy, and the Green Hornet persona is really just something that he does so that he can get information out of criminals, and he only acts like a criminal so he can do justice. But now Kato's worried, and because this is the first time Britt Reed's ever actually done something genuinely criminal, like bribing an officer, especially the guy described as the last honest cop in Chicago. So anyways, after they get out of the butcher shop and escape. The next day, Britt Reed at the Daily Sentinel office, Britt Reed gets into an argument with one of his father's old friends, Winston Mills, and when he's fighting with Winston, and after he fights with Winston, he goes and listens to a recording of the criminal that Kato and the Hornet are currently trying to catch, who's known as the Voice, who's this mad bomber. And when they hear the recording of the Voice, all the things that the Voice says on the record is very similar to what Mills said in his argument with Reed. So that makes Winston Mills the Hornet's prime suspect. And when the Hornet goes to pay Winston Mills a visit, he sees him, he speaks, and while the Hornet's monologuing and he turns his head for a brief second, Mills is able to hit him with a telephone and then escape. But that just pretty much confirms everything for the Hornet that Mills is definitely the Voice. And so the next day, Britt Reed runs a story in the Sentinel that directly accuses Winston Mills of being the mad bomber. And also Britt Reed agrees to run for mayor of Chicago from some of his friends who were members of the Prosperity political party. And now that Britt Reed has directly accused someone of being a mad bomber, Kato decides, and after seeing the paper, Kato is really worried thinks Britt's going down a really dark path, so he decides to take a sabbatical and basically leave him for now. And also the last page we see that Winston Mills has also seen the paper, and he basically shoots himself. And that's where the issue ends. Okay, Green Hornet number 3. Okay, Green Hornet by Mark Waid, issue 3. Really great series. I mean, this is just a great series. Right now, we are starting to. The series is definitely taking a darker turn, where we're starting to see the darker side of Britt Reed, like how far he really is willing to go to do justice in the city, and also, how I remember in the first issue, Britt Reed was talking about using the newspaper as a weapon in his war on crime and stuff, and I think writing this issue is definitely a prime example of that, as well as, and also I know that the main action that Britt Reed does to fight crime is use the Green Hornet persona to pose as a crime lord so that he can get information from criminals, stop them, then help take down other criminals in Chicago. And right now we're starting to see the darker side of that, especially when he bribes that cop. I mean everything. I mean, we are starting to see a lot of the darker side of Britt Reed with this as the way this story progresses. I think Mark Waid's doing a killer job on this. The writing, the dialogue, it's brilliant. Also, Kato. I think, I do like how Kato says that he's willing. Also, I really do like how Kato's role in this is kind of like the sort of nervous moral compass to the Green Hornet. Kato's the side. Well, he's not a sidekick. He's a partner. He's the Green Hornet's partner, and basically Kato's. Well, he doesn't quit for good. He just decides to take a leave of absence, a vacation, something to clear his head. Because right now, he says that his conscience is... He says that he can't... Because the main reason Kato's leaving is that he described it as not being able to bear both his guilty conscience and Britt Reed's at the same time. So he just decides to take a break. And now it looks like Britt Reed's the Hornet's gonna be solo for a couple of issues, which I look forward... Which I like that setup. I think it's going to be good to see how the Green Hornet is going to be handled without Kato. Really, Kato's definitely the more experienced fighter. Even though Britt's the main guy, he's got the gas gun and he has money. Kato's mostly the as we saw in the movie. I think the movie with Seth Rogen really demonstrated how important Kato was. In the comic book, though, Britt Reed's not as comical, but he can still handle himself, but Kato's a far superior fighter, I believe. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see the Hornet without Kato, as well as seeing what lies ahead for Britt Reed now that he's starting to run for mayor. And overall, I think this is a great series. Very nice. If you want a good comic book that's not by DC or Marvel, I would definitely recommend the Green Hornet right now because it is amazing. It really is a good job. In fact, I would say this is Mark Waid's second best series out right now, the first being Daredevil. Those two series by Mark Waid are great. This one is no exception. Overall, if you're loving his work on Daredevil, I would definitely recommend picking up Green Hornet 2. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. This is Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.